How do I become unshackled from something? How do I yank out the bolts and pull apart the metal like it's paper? How do I no longer let myself be consumed by something that has had its claws gouged so deeply into my skin and made a home wrapped around the bones inside my body? How do I look at grandma's famous peanut butter cookies and not think about the fat and the butter and the calories and the flour and the way the 7 letters in dessert seem to melt and drip with sugar? The warm, sweet smell wafting into the air, igniting a dangerous whirlpool inside my belly. How do I turn off the voices in my head that scream when my stomach is full, that slowly pulls the bile up my throat, threatening to overflow because it should be hungry, starving? The rumbles, only whispers of praise and reminders of what the glorious future will bring if it remains empty. How do I forget the numbers or how to do math at all? So I can't read the scale, the rest below my naked feet, and calculate how many more pounds I can lose before I can finally look in the mirror and not want to pluck each eye from my head so I don't have to stare at something so disgusting. How do I stop the need to lie between my teeth that I'm not hungry? Looking at my reflection has filled me up with enough hate and resentment, and eating is something to be ashamed of. Besides, no one would notice if the fatty skipped a meal. How do I sit at a table with every close family member laughing and smiling and not be painfully aware of the clothes shaping my skin or the size of portions on my plate or the size of my pants or the size of my what my pants should be and what they're not knowing if the comments on how much I've grown is about my height or my waistline? How do I rave about body positivity, but any chance I get, I'm bashful and harsh about the one I live and grow in for the rest of my life? How do I stop myself from counting down the hours and minutes to then seconds until I tie up my shoelaces to pant and sweat and tire my body endlessly so I can feel good about myself and the hunger in my stomach? Counting every calorie, every pound, every moment until I can look in the mirror and not want to rip the skin from my body so I don't have to wear something so ugly. When does it become enough? But the problem is, I don't know what life is without these shackles. And no matter how hard I try, these claws stay rooted in my skin, slowly wrapped around my bones, suffocating me like a snake encircling its prey. No matter how much I work on my image, self-love, I remain repulsed, staring at my plate with the deafening silence drowning my ears. So maybe the question should be, who am I without them? Without the calories, without the counting, without the voices, without the neglect, without the worries. Who am I without them?
Okay, it's fine. Emmy Braun is 13 now, but 7 then, short and skinny with curls dyed red, small gray glasses and hallway passes. He walks home alone, kicks all the rocks, and asks himself, what happens next? Bruises and blood formed by fatherly love. He's multiply 3 times 5, always told not to cry. Tan grass, November cold, he's now 8 years old. Little boy standing there, the beat has stopped, but we're playing musical chairs. Saturdays at 5, and Dad's not there. He asks himself, what happens next? A butterfly morphed into bloody hate. He turns 9 today. Pink confetti and birthday cake, Hallmark cards and a yellow bruise, ripping tissues and tears, the back of a man I don't know anymore. What's next? A year gone by, number 10, brushing off Dad's neglect. I don't care what happens next. Another year passes by, cuts and scars, I want to die. Daddy's gone and Mom don't care. The house is quiet, but he still wants silence. He asks himself, what happens next? And now he's 12, grades are down, he's overwhelmed. His hair is straight, his clothes are black. Dad's packing his things, tears caught and mother screams. Emmy Bront sits alone, there is nothing that he thinks. Inside of us, a broken desert, a burning hell, a weathered house where Emmy lives, a muddy lake where Emmy swims, a broken jet that Emmy flies, a wanting for time and a book never read, a bed never made, a rusted statue and bloody sheets, a melody pounding through his head. What happens next? 13 now, and lightly he treads. Broken wings rip through the seams, leaving the American struggle. Blue and brown of violent pleasure, shattered dreams. Emmy whispered and wept, hands on neck with weighted words. Emergency gun left in the drawer, handle is cold, like striking a match. Empty house, emptier driveway, a written note in blue inked pen, and a bullet left through his head. The pain that he endured for 3 whole hours lying on his blood-stained bed, then put in a dirt-filled grave. No epitaph, no words to say this boy was a loving son and a kind kid. No words to express his sacrifice. Just this boy was insane. So 4,954 days, 43,202 seconds, 13 years, and half a day. What's next?
This is my poem, The Steps to Shoah, The Stories of the Holocausts. 1. Shoah is a story of stereotype. The weak refuse to fight for their homes. Losers, glorious tales of war. A story of a stabbed man proposed. 2. Shoah is the story of an election. The House fills with those who promote a candidate to start a new republic, one whose beliefs the media will sugarcoat. Tell them that the case has forever been closed. Pad the news with meaningless fodder. Tell the public that Shoah is just a myth, a tale of monsters, one that cannot be opposed. 3. Shoah requires an economic need, a need to rally the people, to rally the scapegoats together for deportation. Those who you can convince the civilians aren't people. 4. Shoah can be a night of broken glass, where you can't tell where the screams are coming from. All the words are a slew. All they can see is the end of a barrel, smiling with the burning, fleshy stew of their cultures behind you. Then, when they trust that the people will interfere, the reflection of cold stainless steel will only show man, whose blood boils in the pot with the sin of life, create a diaspora on both sides of the river of bodies. 5. Gather a conference filled with those who agree that maybe Shoah is the final solution. The true goal of the powers that be is a goal of execution. 6. Shoah is a night's entertainment. They turn away from the flame into old smiles, but hearing their screams, you know it is not just a nightmare anymore, stripping naked in front of the burning pile. 7. Shoah happens in the camps. As group after group crowds into the shower, gather enough to break into ash, scooping 88 tablespoons of the powder. Let their screams fade into the smoke as their souls seep into the ground to forever haunt the land. Shoah is the cleansing of the chamber of the gas to thrust the next group into till they fail to stand. 88, as their dog whistles repeat in your head, 88, you know that Shoah is that girl with the diary, writing a story of dancing when Shoah is the cause of the final day in which that little girl will live, but you have never cared. As you end her story and turn your spotlight away from the diary on the shelves, away from the diaspora of the families you've bombed, shining away from your bloodshot eyes set on some greater purpose upon the mouth of your manifest gloriousness, minister of Israel, and tell us, the Gazans will bring upon themselves a bigger Shoah. Despite all those years your people had suffered trying to defend yourselves.
Welcome to high school, where exceptional meets expectations.
Did you know we have the highest GPA in the state?
And let's not forget our ACT, SAT, AP test scores.
Our extracurriculars excel as well.
Did you know 89% of our students are involved?
We don't talk about the other percent.
No one knows them anyways.
No one will miss them.
Anyways, welcome to high school, where victory means relief.
Did you know our speech and debate team is 5th in the nation?
Don't congratulate them. There's always room for improvement.
We just pride ourselves on being the best.
Did you know our colors are blue and white?
Well, we say that, but our real color is
gold. Welcome to high school, where we accept diversity of some kinds.
Did you know we were desegregated back in the 60s?
We've made leaps and bounds since then, but don't look too hard at our demographics. We welcome our queer students with open arms.
Well, as long as you're not one of
Those gay kids who puts a flag on their backpack.
or their pronouns on their name tag. It's
Unbecoming of the school image. We represent a wide span of incomes.
well, as long as you're not one of
Those poor kids who says they're on free and reduced lunch.
or drives a secondhand car. It's
Unbecoming of the school image. We support all our students' mental health needs.
well, as long as you're not one of
Those depressed kids who never shows up to class.
or is always wearing long sleeves. They're
Unbecoming of the school image. Welcome to high school.
We just push our students beyond their limits.
Did you know we have the highest amount of suicides in the state?
We used to be called Suicide High.
But we don't use that word. What happened to those kids is a tragedy. In the likely event of a death, we give our community a couple days to mourn.
For a limited time, you can set up a
Temporary.
memorial as long as it's
Out of sight. And the disruptive crying stays out of earshot.
and the past tense names stay
Out of your mouth. It wouldn't be fair to the living students.
and a public memorial would be
Unbecoming of the school image. Welcome to high school. Can you please stop crying?
Can you please take a breath?
No one can understand you. Please get back to class.
I understand you're upset, but they're not coming back.
You have a test next period, so please move on.
Please keep your spirits high.
Please keep your head low, but please, never below the bar.
Please calm down.
Please, you're fine.
Please fit in.
Please fall in line. No one wants to hear you stand up. No one wants to hear you speak up.
Sit down.
Pipe down. You are unbecoming.
Control me and make me ready so you can stain me with emotionless words. Let the same words be a monochromatic base on me, a blank canvas. Project and trace what you want and draw what you please. I can be what you want, just give me a chance to show you. Paint outside the lines you drew and make me look unapproachable. Make a sopping mess out of my emotions, then wring them out with your petty little lies. Create a starry background to show all the sparks I thought we had on those dark and dreary days. The sweat from my eyes glisten and slide down my face from your absent words. I don't love you anymore. You broke me a blank canvas. Further and further you drove me into misery. You sculpted the ideas in others' minds that I was the one in the wrong, that I took advantage of you, that you were the helpless one, the one who couldn't escape. You flirted with my friends like I wasn't even there. I, a blank canvas, was naive to think I was the only one. I should have listened to them, the ones you said would be a problem. In reality, those problematic people were the ones who cared and listened. You had too many flaws I was too blind to see. I am a blank canvas who is meant for others' enjoyments. And you exploited that. Now, I wonder, each day and each night, will the next person be gentler and kinder than you? Will I, a blank canvas, find a place to be free? A hazel-eyed beauty, one with dark midnight hair, approached me. I tried to ignore him because I knew it would only lead to more sorrow and more self-doubt that I didn't want. He, a nearly completed canvas, but he had holes and scribble marks just like mine, ones no one had tried to mend. As time progressed, interactions with him felt different. It felt like the one thing everyone had denied me, love. I was his first partner, first kiss, first love. He was someone I could vent and express all my feelings to, someone who wouldn't judge me for the small things. I don't know when this glorious gift of love will leave, but I know that this time I had found something that could love a blank canvas like me. So what if I am a messy, multicolored canvas? I am me, and you can't change that anymore. What if he is too? He is him, and you can't change him anymore. As cliche as it sounds, we may be busted and bruised canvases alone, but together, we make each other complete, and that's all that matters.